Have you ever done everything right with a man, given him your time, your attention, your genuine care, and still watched him hold back? Yes, it's one of the most disorienting things you can experience in a relationship. But what most women are never told is that what opens a man to falling in love isn't what most of us assume. The truth is, what's actually happening when a man falls in love, or doesn't, is one of the most misunderstood processes in all of human relationships. Miss what's really driving it, and you can have everything on paper and still never truly reach him. Women carry that confusion for years without ever getting a real answer. And there's one piece of this I want to come back to at the end. What happens when a man feels truly seen by you? Not just desired or appreciated, but actually seen. Because it's the thing most women understand last, and the one that changes everything. The first thing that has to happen, and this one genuinely surprises people, is that he has to feel emotionally safe with you. Not comfortable, not relaxed in your company, safe. There's a difference worth taking seriously. Comfort is what you feel around something familiar. Safety is what you feel around someone who won't use your vulnerability against you. Those aren't the same experience. And for men especially, the gap between them is enormous. Most women don't fully appreciate what men carry into relationships when it comes to vulnerability. Not because men are emotionally shallow, but because the cost of showing vulnerability has historically been high for them. Through boyhood, through friendships, workplaces, and past relationships, the lesson most men absorb is that exposure carries risk. By the time he's sitting across from you, the guarding is already automatic. He isn't necessarily aware he's doing it. It's just the posture he's learned to hold. What dissolves it isn't romantic intensity or emotional openness on your part alone. It's consistency. Quiet, repeated evidence over time that what he lets you see will be held carefully, that it won't be brought up later, weaponized in an argument, or used to undermine him. That requires patience, but it's not complicated. Research in adult attachment theory shows that the capacity for deep romantic bonding is directly linked to perceived psychological safety within the relationship. When that safety is present, the oxytocin-driven bonding response, the neurochemical mechanism underlying trust and emotional connection, can operate without being suppressed by elevated cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. In plain terms, love needs a low-threat environment to take root, and it won't grow reliably until one exists. If you've ever had a man who clearly liked you never take things further, it's worth asking whether he ever truly felt that safety with you. Because without it, nothing else can do what it's supposed to do. From there, what a man needs, and this is the thing that surprises women the most, isn't to feel loved first. It's to feel admired. Specifically and genuinely admired for something real about who he is. Think about what admiration actually communicates. When you admire someone, you're telling them, I see something in you that I think is genuinely remarkable. That's different from acceptance, different from affection, different from compatibility. Admiration implies the person being admired has a quality worth noting, something that stands on its own, independent of what they offer to the relationship. For men, this distinction cuts deeper than most people expect. Studies in relationship psychology consistently find that men rate feeling respected and admired by their partners as more central to their relationship satisfaction than almost any other factor, including physical intimacy. The dopaminergic reward response triggered by genuine admiration is, neurologically, closer to what men describe as falling in love than almost any other emotional input, which means admiration isn't simply a nice addition to a relationship. It's one of the primary mechanisms through which men actually open. The difficulty is that admiration has to be real to land. Men are surprisingly accurate at detecting the difference between genuine regard and performed approval, even when they can't articulate what they're picking up on. What actually works is specificity, not "you're so great," which is warm but weightless, but something more precise, something that makes it clear you've been paying attention. The way you handled that situation said something about who you are, lands in a way that a general compliment never does. Admiration tells a man that you see him clearly, and that you like what you see. That combination is more powerful than most people realize. If those two things are in place, if he feels safe and genuinely admired, the next question is whether he feels actively chosen by you, not accepted, not kept, chosen. And this distinction matters far more than most women realize. Relationship psychology uses a phrase for what happens in many relationships that form without anyone really deciding. Passive selection. Two people spend time together, things develop naturally, neither one pulls away, and a relationship forms through proximity and momentum rather than through any deliberate act of choosing. From the outside, it looks like love. From the inside, particularly for the man, there's often a quiet question that never fully disappears. Did she actually want me, or did she just not leave? Research on long-term commitment consistently shows that men who report feeling deliberately chosen by their partners demonstrate significantly higher levels of emotional investment, relational depth, and long-term commitment. The mechanism at work is what attachment researchers call felt significance, the sense that your presence in another person's life isn't incidental or convenient, but genuinely and specifically meaningful to them. What this looks like in practice isn't grand gesture or declaration. It's smaller and more consistent than that. It's choosing to be with him when you had other options and making that visible. It's referencing him to others in a way that makes it clear you're proud of who he is, not just what he provides. It's saying simply and without pressure that you want him, specifically him, not the relationship category he fills. When a man feels that kind of active, deliberate choice, something in his orientation toward you shifts. He stops wondering. And when the wondering stops, love moves in. If this is landing for you, make sure you're following this channel. We go deeper on the psychology of attraction and love every week. And this is exactly the kind of conversation our community keeps coming back to. Being chosen shifts something in him, but there's another dimension that determines whether a man goes from caring about you to genuinely falling in love. And it has to do with who he becomes when he's around you. Men are drawn, often without consciously registering it, to relationships where they feel themselves growing. Not because they're incomplete without a partner, but because growth is one of the core psychological drives in human beings, and a relationship that activates it feels profoundly different from one that doesn't. Evolutionary psychology describes this through the concept of mate value expansion. The pull humans feel toward partners whose presence increases their own sense of capability, confidence, or direction. The research is consistent. People invest more deeply in relationships where they feel themselves becoming more. But at the lived level, it's simpler than the theory suggests. When a man feels sharper, more grounded, more capable, or simply more like the version of himself he actually wants to be, when he's around you, that feeling attaches itself to you. It becomes part of his internal experience of who you are to him. The relationship becomes the environment in which his best self shows up, and that's not something he wants to walk away from. This isn't about becoming his coach, his therapist, or his source of external motivation. It's about the energy of the space you create together. Does he leave conversations with you feeling expanded or contracted? Does he feel seen in his ambitions as well as his doubts? A relationship that draws out a man's best instincts rather than suppressing them is a relationship he doesn't leave lightly. And that leads into something that sounds simple, but operates at a deeper level than almost anything else. His ability to be himself with you. Not a managed version, not the self he performs for colleagues or maintains for friends, himself. In neuroscientific terms, when a person is in genuine self-expression, when the gap between their internal experience and what they're presenting externally collapses, activity in the prefrontal cortex, the region associated with social monitoring and self-regulation, reduces significantly. The nervous system settles. What the person feels is a quality of ease that's genuinely rare in social life, because most people spend the majority of their time in some degree of performance. Think about the different versions of yourself you hold together in different contexts. The version you present at work, the version you maintain at a family event, the version you show new friends before you're sure of the ground. Each one is slightly managed, slightly edited, slightly shaped for the audience. Most people live almost all of their lives in that register without realizing it. The relationship where all of that can drop, completely without fear of judgment, without wondering whether what you reveal will be used against you, becomes the relationship that pulls on something fundamental. Research into self-disclosure and relationship depth shows that the strongest single predictor of long-term romantic bonding isn't shared interest or physical attraction. It's the extent to which a person feels they can be fully known by their partner and still be wanted. When a man can be exactly who he is with you, love doesn't just become possible, it becomes inevitable. Because what he's found is something most people spend their whole lives looking for, a place where he doesn't have to be anyone other than himself. And that brings us back to what I mentioned at the start. What happens when a man feels truly seen by you? Not admired for his achievements, not desired for his presence, seen, past the version of himself he manages and presents to the world, down to the quieter part he rarely shows anyone. When that happens, when a man realizes you already know who he actually is, and you're still here, still choosing him, love doesn't build gradually, it arrives, fully and without warning, because underneath everything, underneath the safety he needed to feel, the admiration he needed to receive, the active choice he needed to witness, what he was really looking for was this: someone who sees him clearly and stays anyway.